Hey, is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horse.
Ding shoo bob shooby doo doo booby doo dow.
Bang!
Hot dog!
Don't hesitate! It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow!
When I was a little girl, I wished I was a boy. I tagged along behind the gang and wore me corduroys. Everybody said I only did it to annoy, but I was gonna be an engineer. Mama told me, can't you be a lady? Your duty is to make me the mother of a pearl. Wait until you're older, dear, and maybe you'll be glad that you're a girl. Dainty as a Dresden statue, gentle as a Jersey cow, smooth as silk gives creamy milk. Learn to coo, learn to moo, that's what you do to be a lady now. Well, when I went to school, I learned to write and how to read, some history, geography, and home economy. And typing is a skill that every girl is sure to need, to while away the extra time until the time to breed. Then they had the nerve to say, what would you like to be? I says, I'm gonna be an engineer. No, you only need to learn to be a lady. The duty isn't yours for to try and run the world. An engineer could never have a baby. Remember, dear, that you're a girl. She's smart for a woman. I wonder how she got that way. You get no choice, you get no voice. Just stay mum, pretend you're dumb, and that's how you come to be a lady today. Then Jimmy come along and we set up a conjugation. We were busy every night with love and recreation. I spent the day at work so he could get his education. Well, now he's an engineer. He says, I know you'll always be a lady. It's the duty of my darling to love me all her life. Could an engineer look after or obey me? Remember, dear, that you're my wife. Well, as soon as Jimmy got a job, I began again, and happy at me turret lay a year or so. And then, the morning that the twins were born, Jimmy says to them, kids, your mother was an engineer. You owe it to the kids to be a lady, dainty as a dish rag, faithful as a chow. Stay at home, you got to mind the baby. Remember, you're a mother now. Well, every time I turn around, there's something else to do. It's cook a meal, mend a sock, sweep a floor or two, holding out the potty when the baby wants to poo. I was gonna be an engineer. You know, I really wish that I could be a lady. I could do the lovely things that a lady's supposed to do. I wouldn't even mind if only they would pay me, and I could be a person too. What price for a woman? You buy her for a ring of gold. To love and obey without any pay. You get your cook and your nurse, for better or worse. You don't need your purse when the lady is sold. Ah, but now that times are harder and Jimmy's got the sack, I went down to Vickers, they were glad to have me back. But I'm a third-class citizen, my wages tell me that, and I'm a first-class engineer. The boss, he says, we pay you as a lady. You know you only got the job, 'cause I can't afford a man. With you I keep the profits high as maybe. You're just a cheaper pair of hands. You got one fault, you're a woman. You're not worth the equal pay. A bitch or a tart, you're nothing but heart. Shallow and vain, you got no brain. You even go down the drain like a lady today. Well, I listened to my mother and I joined a typing pool. I listened to my lover and I put him through his school. But if I listen to the boss, I'm just a bloody fool and an underpaid engineer. I've been a sucker ever since I was a baby, as a daughter, as a wife, as a mother and a dear. But I fight them as a woman, not a lady. Fight them as an engineer.
All right, all right.
Is that enough words for you?
Just enough.
It had one more verse originally, by the way. I cut it out because it was too long.
The show is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and if you don't know already, this is Peggy Seeger we have as our guest today.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Peggy has been playing concerts for 45 years. 20 solo recordings and over 100 joint recordings. And I love this quote from Chris Morris in Billboard. For decades, Seeger has been one of the most authoritative voices in American English folk, while she is acknowledged as an esteemed interpreter of traditional material and a gifted instrumentalist, which she just showed us. That was some hot guitar picking. I like that.
I'm an accompanist, essentially, more than a soloist.
But a great one.
Playing solos makes me nervous. That's why I sing, so I can feel better about playing.
She is perhaps best known for her observant and caustic original songs about women, of which that is a fine example.
I've sung that over 5,000 times since I made it up.
Still enjoying it, too, it seems.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the ballads. It's like the traditional songs. They last well, you know. There's always something in them for you, you know. I started on traditional songs. Long ballads, banjo and guitar playing. And I suppose if you asked me which my favorite instrument was, it's probably the banjo. I was told by my brother Mike that it wasn't a girl's instrument. That was when we were sharing a banjo. I'd like to play Little Birdie. Is that okay?
Sure.
Like a lot of American love songs, this is kind of like a philosophical piece. It's full of kind of little pieces of advice, ostensibly through talking to a little bird. Little birdie,
you come from a famously musical family, and you also started a musical family.
My sons both play music. When I went to England, where I got this funny accent that the Canadians think is Irish, when I went to England, I fell in love on my first day there with Ewan MacColl, who was 20 years my senior. And from him, I learned how to write songs, and I think became a singer. He needed me as much as I needed him. He was an unaccompanied singer, and I was the first person that he'd met who played an instrument that knew how to accompany his songs. You know, the Scottish and English, Irish songs had been unaccompanied for hundreds of years, and people over there were putting Leadbelly accompaniments and Woody Guthrie accompaniments to the English and Scottish songs, and it was, shall we say, interesting. So he was fascinated by the fact that we were a good combination, male, female, 40 years old, 20 years old, musically illiterate, but musically brilliant, musically literate, and musically passably brilliant. And I was from the middle class, he was from the working class, I was American, he was English. I mean, every possible combination. But I found that trying to accompany all of his songs on guitars and banjos didn't work. So I picked up this devilish little instrument. I actually began to learn it when I was pregnant with my second child. So I was learning to play it further and further out on my knees. This is the concertina, the English concertina. You don't pick this instrument up, it picks you up. It knocks you down first and then picks you up. But it's absolutely lovely. You can play. But I like to play things like this, which is called Blackthorn. Is this what you wanted to talk about?
Fine.
Okay. Okay. The
Whatever you
Blackthorn.
want to talk about is
Yeah,
what I want to talk
I'm
about.
dying to play this because it's a nice acoustic in here.
Beautiful. How sad.
It's called the Blackthorn. It's called the Blackthorn. It's an Irish tune.
Have you heard anything like it?
I heard it on the fiddle. I first heard it on the fiddle. And as I didn't play the fiddle, well, I tried to learn the fiddle, but the people I was living with nearly went mad. But my work with Ewan MacColl was probably the most important. He was an amazing, amazing songwriter and musician. And he wrote songs that you probably have heard but don't know that he wrote them. Songs like The Shoals of Herring and The Manchester Rambler, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. And he wrote this one. He was a virulent political songwriter. There might be some terms in it here that folks at home and folks here might not know, like the telly for television, and an MP, which is Member of Parliament, which is kind of like your House of Representatives here. There's all kinds of other fascists and cheats and exploiters. I think we have those over here too. He called this legal illegal. I've asked myself to sing this tonight. I hope I can remember it. Every time you pick up a newspaper, every time you switch on the TV, you can bet your old boots that at some point you'll see a high-ranking copper or else an MP calling on all who are British and free to stand up and defend law and order. It's illegal to rip off a payroll. It's illegal to hold up a train. But it's legal to rip off $1 million or two that comes from the labor that other folk do. To plunder the many on behalf of the few is a thing that is perfectly legal. It's illegal to kill off a landlord or to trespass upon his estate. But to charge a high rent for a slum is okay. To condemn men and women and children to stay in a hovel that's rotten with damp and decay is a thing that is perfectly legal. If your job turns you into a zombie, it's legal to feel some despair. But don't be aggressive, that is, if you're smart, and for Christ's sake, don't upset the old apple cart. Remember, the boss has your interests at heart, and it grieves him to see you unhappy. If you fashion a bomb in the kitchen, you're guilty of breaking the law. But a bloody great nuclear plant is okay, though plutonium processing hastens the day when this tight little isle may be blasted away. Nonetheless, it is perfectly legal. I don't know if you have gypsies here. It's illegal if you are a gypsy to camp by the side of the road. But it's proper and right for the rich and the great to live in a mansion and own an estate that was got from the people by pillage and rape. That's what they call a tradition. It's illegal to carve up your missus or put poison in your old man's tea. But poison the rivers, the seas, and the skies, and poison the mind of a nation with lies. If it's done in the interests of free enterprise, then it's proper and perfectly legal. It's legal to join a trade union, and to picket is one of your rights. But don't be offensive when scabs cross the line. Be nice to the coppers and keep this in mind. To picket effectively, that is a crime worse than if you had murdered your mother. It's legal to sing on the telly, but they make bloody sure that you don't. If you sing about racists and fascists and cheats and thieves in high places who live off the weak, and those who are selling us right up the creek, the twisters, the takers, the conmen, the fakers, the whole bloody gang of exploiters. It's a charming little song, isn't it? Charming, charming.
Well, we'll see if the censors cut out.
I haven't allowed you to say a word.
I don't have much to say. I'm here to listen to you.
Okay. Well, we were gonna do. How much more time do you reckon we have?
We're counting down to 28 from 20, so we have 8 minutes. We should tell folks how to get in touch with you and find your website at www.pegseeger.com.
That's an easy one.
That's easy, and so they can find your schedule, your performing schedule, how to email you if they want to have a question. Or
I'm not singing a whole lot, but I do have some CDs and things, and a songbook that you can keep fit with. It weighs 3.5 pounds, so if you get 2 of them, you can kind of. And I've also done a songbook for Ewan McCall, one that weighs 4 pounds. That's coming out in about a week. But I came back here voluntarily after living in England for 35 years, because I was brought up here. And this is the country that I regard as my native land. And I'm having a wonderful time touring. I really am. And meeting new people.
Great.
Under this wide sky.
We're happy to meet you here.
Thank you, Ralph. think we just about have time to do our last song, which
Well,
I think is
we
about
still have
5
7
minutes.
minutes.
We have 7. Let me do a very quick one.
Do a quick one, and then we'll do the other one quickly too.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see, I think this takes about a minute. Everyone knows you can't trust a woman whenever that time rolls around. Everyone knows she can go crazy when her mainspring gets unwound. At that certain time, a woman is prone to indisposition, and it's not unknown for her to be touchy, a little bit slow, so we can't entrust her with running the show. Everyone knows you can't trust a woman. She might slip out of gear. She bathes at the moon. She's a walking womb a dozen times a year. Low on ego, high on id, victim of her hormones, her mind's like a sieve. You can't trust a person who might flip her lid every 28 days. Everyone knows you can't trust a man whenever that time rolls around. Everyone knows he can go crazy when his mainspring's overwhelmed. The needle points north, south, east, and west. He's never at peace, never at rest, victim of his hormones running too fast, steering the ship with his mind on the mast. Everyone knows you can't trust a man. Things might slip out of gear. He's a walking, talking, divining rod 10,000 times a year. And the power and the glory, the whole damn show, everything except that old status quo, can all go to if the system says go, any time of day. I forgot there's certain words you're not allowed to say, aren't there? Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
That sounds like a Peggy Seeger.
That's a Peggy Seeger song. That's definitely a Peggy Seeger
I
song.
think your number 10,000 might be low, though.
You think? Ah, we love them, the Deers, don't we? And we're ending with one which is ostensibly for people of advanced years.
Obviously not us.
Not us, no. I think about one of the best statements about old age is that Betty Davis, she says, old age is not for sissies. Here's your chorus. Now, is this the right key?
No, I don't think so. I think you
Give me
need
the
to
right key.
B flat.
Chorus. You gonna sing? The folks at home gonna sing? How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin when I think of the places my get up has been. Let's just launch into it. But sometimes I wonder as I crawl into bed with my eyes on the table, my teeth in a cup, my ears in the drawer until I get up. As sleep dims my vision, I say to myself, is there anything else I should lay on the shelf? But with intrigue, politics, scandal, and sex, I'll stick around to see what happens next. Here we go. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, slippers were red. I could kick up my heels right over my head. When I was older, my slippers were blue. I'd frolic and dance the whole night through. Now I am old, my slippers are black. I huff to the shops, I puff my way back. But that doesn't matter, I don't mind at all. I'd rather be huffing than not puff at all. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin when I think of the places my get up has been. It's a nice chorus from those who are not seen but heard. And those at home who are neither seen nor heard, I hope you join in. Folks think I'm lonely. Oh, yes, you were going to play it, sorry. Do play. Do those high notes again. Folks think I'm lonely 'cause I'm 83, but I've got lots of friends. I'm healthy and free. I